Hello, today I'm going to be talking about motivation and how specifically to motivate learning in students. So to begin with, let's define motivation. Motivation is an internal process that activates, guides, and maintains behavior over time. Basically, that means that it's what gets you going, what keeps you going, and what is going to determine where you're going to end up. Theories of motivation. There are several theories of motivation. One of these is the behavioral learning theory, and that's the idea that behaviors that have been reinforced in the past are more likely to be repeated. So the idea that reinforcers have been there and that we are reinforcing these and that has been a motivating factor. The attribution theory is the idea that in the study of what people attribute their successes and then their failures to. So do people or students attribute their failures to their environment, to things that are outside of their control, or do they attribute their successes and their failures to themselves and hard work and their own desire to succeed? And this is called an internal locus of control, when they are motivated by their own desire for success and that they believe that they have control over it themselves. So motivation and goal orientation are also tied together, and there are a couple different types of goals. There are learning goals, which is students that have learning goals are students that are motivated to learn. They see the purpose behind school as learning skills that are taught. They are going to take on challenging classes. They're not as worried about their grade as they are about challenging themselves and learning and growing. Students that have performance goals are going to be students that are motivated by approval from their peers and their teachers. They are concerned with getting good grades and less concerned with taking on challenges. In fact, they typically shy away from challenges, and they're more likely to take an easier class because they know that they can do well in it versus a hard class that they know is going to challenge them and help them grow. There are two types of motivation. There's intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation is an internal motivation to perform. And I put a picture of a heart and a carrot over here because intrinsic motivation is the heart. It's doing something because you love it or doing something because it interests you. It comes from within. The motivation to learn and to be successful comes from within. Extrinsic motivation is when you're working towards a reward. So I put the dangling carrot over there that helps you, kind of symbolizes that you're working because you're going to get a reward. You're going to get a treat or a treasure box in school. You're doing it for that, not for yourself. So motivation in the classroom, and I want to talk a little bit more here. Because basically we just have to take this theory and put it into practice. So classroom instruction should encourage intrinsic motivation. That is our goal with students, is to create that and help create that. And there are several ways we can do that. We can create an inviting environment. So having a classroom where it's okay to fail, it's okay to make mistakes. We need to encourage interest in our students. And that means maybe having a hook or a real life situation in a problem that can pique their interest. We need to welcome curiosity. Don't shut it down. Make that extension or do a little extra research for that student that is curious about something. We need to vary our methods of instruction. So maybe using Kagan strategies to get kids up and moving and play games. Maybe incorporating a video into your lesson. Just to hit all those different types of learning and ways that students learn best and to keep it interesting. We also need to help students with setting goals. There is a purpose for extrinsic motivation. We need to use it to get us to intrinsic motivation. So we want to use praise and we want to use encouragement, but our goal ultimately is to get students to be intrinsically motivated. So we just use the extrinsic motivation, maybe when they're not interested, to get them interested. Thank you.